to start with Meg Roberts' photo. Meg, thank you for sharing. We've got that orange, yellow. I know. This is all the smoke, guys. We get the scattering. You know, the solar angle during sunset is lower, and so that light comes through, and that scattering really actually brings out those oranges and those reds. Thanks, Meg. We had a couple of great shutterbugs. Thank you to Susan from Cedar City sharing this one from the garden. Really appreciate that in Iron County. This was submitted on abc4.com. You know, the Iron County Mountains, one of the areas underneath red flag warning, critical fire danger. You've heard me say this a lot, and it continues. Actually, today, it expanded to the Wasatch Mountains, and we saw these warnings extended until Thursday night at 9 p.m. So we're not going to see much change. It does include higher elevations like the Central Mountains, Color Country Mountains, the Swell, the Basin, the Ashley National Forest, all the way down to Washington County. We get a red flag warning when we get gusty winds, and we had that today. Different wind direction in the north, but look at Milford, Cedar City, St. George, double digits there. We're already dealing with very dry conditions. Let's check our relative humidity, because at night we like to see this rebound, and it starts to in a couple of locations. That's promising, but it doesn't in others with single digits or teens, and that's why we see poor recovery overnight and our red flag warning holding on. Another great shot coming from Kiri. Thank you. This was near Salem. I love that bird flying over there. High temperatures today, 94 in Salt Lake, a degree shy of where we typically are this time of year. We saw some 90s on the eastern side of the state, snuck to 104 in St. George. As we head through tonight, we've got smoke that's settled in. If you step out and look up along the Wasatch Front, it's noticeable. 70s as we close out the newscast, getting to the low 70s with smoke-filled skies for the overnight, which means tomorrow morning, hazy conditions, upper 70s, and the winds come back. We are going to see that heat. As we look at our Black Desert time lapse here, you're watching the smoke in Washington County, and the southwesterly winds jostle the camera just a little bit in that area. Satellite radar shows our southwest flow carrying in a bit of moisture in the form of cloud cover. See this trailing little front? That boundary snuck through overnight and into this morning, flattening the ridge a little bit, which allowed for temperatures to be a tiny bit cooler along the Wasatch Front. Not a lot, but it was something. So was that cloud cover, which was out there. Check out Nelson Peak. This is from the Oakers. Look at that thick smoke this morning. And as we make it through the afternoon, typically we see the smoke disperse, but that wasn't the case. Hazy and smoke-filled skies persisted through the afternoon. And as we look at our fire and smoke map, it gives us the source of this smoke. Yes, we've got fires burning throughout the region, but you see this line that extends into Southern California. Our southwesterly flow picking up that smoke on top of our regional fires, thicker plumes in south central Utah, but haze all the way up through northern Utah. Our high resolution data kind of walks you through higher concentrations of that smoke for the early morning commuters. You're going to see it along I-15 in the West Desert in the morning, into central Utah along the Wasatch Front into the afternoon and evening, haze, and then of course that Grand Canyon fire putting off a lot of smoke in southeastern Utah. That's the Dragon Bravo and White Sage. Moderate air expected for tomorrow. Some counties could get upgraded. That happened today with the possibility of unhealthy air, but moderate air on the docket. Looking at our future cast, there's not a lot going on. Precipitation lacking, incredibly so. For the next several days, we do get a weak cold front that's going to move on through Thursday night into Friday. I don't want to call it a cold front. I'd rather call it a cool front because it will bring some cooler air. There's that high pressure in control. Winds for the midweek picking up. That's going to aid in warmer temperatures. Here comes the front Thursday into Friday with those mild conditions, and then the ridge takes over. This is the long range, and it shows dry conditions through the middle of August. We could get to mid-August with no precip in northern Utah or the state. 90s for tomorrow, possibly getting to triple digits in some locations along the Wasatch Front, 106 in St. George, 101 in Bluff. As we look at the next 7 days here, you've got smoke and high heat, windy conditions, fire danger holds on. Here's the Wasatch Front. Those numbers close to 100 degrees, getting there on Thursday. The cool front comes through and we cool below average, but we stay very dry. We've got sports right around the corner. Stay with us.